Before we get to our first guest to talk housing and the dangers of being a landlord in many states of Australia, I want you to indulge me. And I hope I'm not being too cynical here. I don't like to be cynical, but what's almost impossible around politics in Australia right now, not to be a cynic. Now, stay with me. So say that your boss, in this case, the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, has just endured 6 days of dithering embarrassment around his taste for the front end of aircraft. And given you are a factional ally of the PM, you'd like the political narrative to move on. Parliament's due back next week, and the last thing the government would want is more questions about taking the family to Rome on a free upgrade. Insert a senior minister prepared to take one for the team. Enter factional heavy and Labor's Foreign Minister Penny Wong. Now, Minister Wong had seen the fallout from her mate Albo's purchase of that $4.3 million beach house on the cliff at Copacabana Beach north of Sydney. So she knows what's happening. Penny hails from the Labor left faction in South Australia and wants to help her mate from Sydney out, Albo. And you know what? Sooner or later, the media she knows is going to find out that you, Penny Wong, has just settled on her own multi-million-dollar mansion in ritzy Unley Park, an inner south suburb. Now, think Sydney's Paddington, Melbourne, South Yarra. They're the best comparisons. What about if we leak that fresh Labor MP buys million-dollar mansion in the middle of a housing crisis story to stem the bleeding over the upgrades? And who rang? Well, they maybe folks. I've been watching too much of the US-style politics during the current soon-to-conclude presidential campaign, but that's exactly what happened. On Sydney radio this morning, Ben Fordham, who originally broke the story about Albo's place up on the south coast, up on the north coast of New South Wales, he broke the news that Penny Wong and her wife, and good on them, have settled on a $3.4 million house in Unley Park. Now, I'm from Adelaide, and I can tell you $3.4 million buys you a hell of a lot of house in Adelaide. Now, it might not have the PM's sea view, but it's close to the city. Most of those places are beautifully renovated, many constructed of bluestone on large blocks. This one's got a swimming pool. Look, it's just a theory, but why not divert attention from upgrade Albo to Unley Park Penny? After all, things couldn't get any worse, could they?